Hello and welcome to part 2 of the old guy perspective review on the SPHRA 360 camera from SPHRA. Before we even get started on the footage and taking footage, I want to go ahead and show you how to pair the mic, because that new update that came out, you can now pair Bluetooth mics. You just turn on the camera, okay, and then I am using the DJI Mic Mini. You turn that on. That's on. I'm going to come down. All right, so what you want to do is go to settings, or the bolt looking thing, hit that. Then go to wireless mic, hit that. Now you'll see transmitter 1 or TX1 and TX2. You have to put this into pairing mode. So to do that, you hold the link till it starts going green and blue. Then hit this one. And it's pairing up. Let's see if it's all going to work out right. And it is. So now these cameras from SPHRA and now can handle microphones from Bluetooth companies that handle Bluetooth mics. So anyway, this is what we're going to do. I want to show you that and get that all done. So that voice command works. I haven't checked the voice command on the other one. I think it's on. Start recording. Okay, I don't think the settings are right, so let's check that real quick. Okay, pull down. That's gesture control. I think it has voice command. There it is. It was shut off. Bruh. Voice activation is on. Now remember to change the language. Done there. Voice activation is done. Now I can go back to the camera. Start recording. All right, the two buttons on the front of your camera, guys. You have a single round button that starts your recording, and then you have two offset rectangle looking things that's on the right hand side. All right, so when you use them little buttons, guys, you want to make sure that you press them in. They're not a touch sensitive button. They are a pressure sensitive button. So apply pressure and it'll start the action that you're trying to get done. So we're looking at this stuff right now, taking a test. Now we're going to be running this thing through its paces quite a bit. And I want it to do well. I've heard a lot of good things about this. So let's go ahead, pack up all that other old gear and put that in the car, and then we're going to go walk out to the pier and get some shots. So, hey, we'll be back in a minute. The 360 camera is doing its thing, as you can see up here. So we're going to walk around a little bit and let it do some static 360. Now, one of the cool thing is, guys, when you're working with this stuff, is when you're in a state park or a national park, you can't fly a drone. They are drone restricted. And one of the things you can do with this setup that I have right now, if you want the drone effect, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a minute, but if you want the drone effect, you can go ahead and get it, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay? I got it recording now, guys, and I got it on the 9-foot pole from Insta360, because I did tell you that I have a Insta360 cameras. So what I'm doing is have it extended all the way out with my tripod legs, making sure everything's locked into place. Now, right now, we're just doing some regular footage up in here. Now, I want to land the drone. And just like that. And you want to take off. That's all you got to do. All right, one thing I found out on this, hooking up the Bluetooth mic, there's a longer lag between connection and when you turn the camera on and it automatically connects, there's more of a lag with that process on the SPHRA. Whereas on the Nano, that lag isn't there. So just something to note, but it will stay connected. All you got to do is periodically check the power lights on the DJI Mic Mini, if that's what you're using, because they will time out on you. So you got to check that and make sure you're all good. So we're going to set up a couple shots out here on the pier, and then we'll probably wrap it up for today. Go. 360. Then we're going to do a droney towards the water. I may even put this in the water. I don't know. We'll find out. So we'll be back in just a minute. Doing now, guys, we're going to go ahead and put this in the water. Might be a mistake, but we'll find out. I will be doing now, guys, is going ahead and take some single lens photos. Let me set this up here. And I'm actually using the app for this so I can see what's going on. But this is single lens photo at 120 megapixel. Well, good morning, guys. Hey, this is Mr. D. This is day number 3, and we are using the stock audio on the camera in my vehicle. I wanted to check that out and see how well it does. We are heading out to a state park this morning where we're going to be doing comparisons of 3 different 360 cameras. We'll be doing the X4 from Insta360, the GoPro Max 2, and of course the SPHRA 360 camera from SPHRA. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And I also wanted to test out single lens view, which is what we're doing right here. So anyway, I like the way the screen just shut itself off, and it's just showing me how much time I'm recording. That's saving battery, which makes sense. We're just going to do our thing, and we'll be back in a bit. Well, hey guys, hey, I am at Lake Louisa State Park, and this is in Claremont, I believe, Florida. I think that's the city it's located in. Got weird boundaries around here, but anyway, we're going to go down here. We're going to do some comparisons. That's why the loud shirt, for contrasting and colors and stuff like that. But again, it's going to be with the Insta360 X3, no, X4, I'm sorry. Bruh. It'll be with the Insta360 X4, GoPro Max 2, and this camera right here, the SPHRA 360. So should be pretty cool. So once we get all set up and all that kind of stuff, we'll be back. So anyway, guys, hey, we got 2 cameras set up over here. We have the Insta360 X4 on my left, and on the right, I have the new XTRA SPHRA 360 going on. I got audio in both of them. I'm running the DJI Mic Mini in the SPHRA, and I'm running the old Rode mic system because these won't accept Bluetooth. I think the new ones will, but the older ones like the X4 won't. But anyway, we're going to do a couple of walk-bys. We're going to do some contrast look and stuff like that and check the mics. So we're going to just do a walk-by. And just do our thing. And like I said, audio on both, so it's no big deal. We're going to walk all the way to the end and then turn around and walk back. But we're checking for color and contrast and all that kind of crazy stuff. So that's what we're doing. And now we're going to switch out once we get done. We're going to go ahead and switch out and shut off the X4 and then turn on the GoPro Max 2. So there we go. Got those taken care of. Now both these cameras have voice commands, so they both acted exactly the same way. Now with the GoPro, you have to use a preface of the word GoPro in front of their voice commands. But anyway, let's go ahead and set this one up. Now having protective covers on these 360 cameras is an absolute requirement, without question. Let's get this up high as it'll go. I want to match this one and bring it down. We have the exact same height. Let me shut this one down. Already did. Got to bring the mic up though. Now turn this one on. And this microphone should pair. There it goes. Alright, this mic has paired. Now that's good. Turn this one on. And this one. And we are now going to do the exact same thing as the other one. We're both recording? Yes. Okay. Hi guys, now we have both cameras hooked up. Both of them are recording right now. And I have the Nano up on my hat to record all this stuff. Now over here I have the GoPro Max 2, and over here is the SPHRA. So let's do our thing. Let's keep going. See how it does. Now both of the audio are the exact same. They're both mic minis, and one on each side of my hat. And then the Rogue is on the front of my shirt, which I'm not using right now. But this is pretty cool. And we're going to check, again, contrast, colors, all that kinds of stuff. Now, I did find out yesterday in the desktop application that the SPHRA, they say to plug in the USB-C to USB-C into your computer, and it will automatically recognize it and bring it in. Untrue. It did not work. I had to bring them in under project or create a new project and then bring them all in that way. Wasn't a problem, but they said it worked, but it didn't. So anyway, here we go. All right, guys, now what we're doing is setting up all three cameras. Let me check this camera. Yeah, we're recording. All right, so what we're doing is setting up all three of these cameras. Again, over here is the SPHRA 360. In the middle is the Insta360 X4. And on the far left is the GoPro Max 2. So we're just gonna, I set it up here because we got direct sunlight popping in with some shade, and I want to see some of the contrast and stuff like that. Should be pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and, is that a gator? No. Sure looks like one, but it's not. It's a piece of driftwood, but man, that looks like a gator. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and walk past this, and then we're going to eventually, we are going to go down to the other lakes and play around with the cameras a little bit. I'm going to play with the SPHRA out of the roof of the car and do some hyperlapse. We'll be doing time lapse here in a little while, but oops, I want to go this way. Go in through here, and it should be pretty cool. Okay, and I think we got enough for this. All right, let's get some hyperlapse done here. I'm pretty impressed with this camera as far as its operational properties. Again, it's identical to the DJI Osmo 360 without question, but I like the colors and stuff like that. It's got a really great contrast and stuff, so I think it's going to be a nice camera. And plus it has new technology inside, so it's cool. Now what we're doing here is just a little bit out of the sunroof of my car, going down the main thoroughfare here at Lake Louisa State Park. We're going over to Dixie Lake right now and get some shooting done over there. So it should be a lot of fun. And here we are at Lake, or Dixie Lake they call it. They put the lake where, or no, Lake Dixie. Oh, this lake is down. Whew, way down. I used to launch my kayak way back there. Holy crap. Hi guys, hey, we wrapped it up out here at Lake Louisa State Park. We did some comparison with the GoPro Max 2 360 camera, Insta360 X4, and then put it all up against the SPHRA 360 camera from SPHRA. We did some hyperlapse stuff, and we've still got a lot to do. I gotta put it on the bike. I haven't been able to ride my bike because I had surgery. If you caught the stitches in my head here, you may have in some of my footage. I try to hide it, but I can't. So anyway, we're gonna be taking this on to the e-bike on my next adventure when I get cleared to where I can ride. And then we're gonna test it on the e-bike, and we'll be putting it up against either the Insta360 or the Max 2, not sure yet. but we'll play that as we play. Hi guys, we are now going to do a time lapse. We're going to catch a sunrise here. Now I've got this thing set up for 20 minutes based on when the sunrise is going to happen. So we're setting this all up, and we'll be back when it's all over. Hi guys, we are just wrapping up on this time lapse right now, and beautiful sunrise. I don't shoot time lapses though, I just don't do them because I don't have the time to do them. But in this case, I wanted to get a sunrise, so I came out here way too early. I'm on my third 10-minute thing because they said sunrise was at 6:12. It is now 6:36. So I don't know who's right. Anyway, we're going to finish this time lapse up, and then we continue on the e-bike. Well, good morning, my friends. Hey, today we are doing a test, basically, of the response back from SPHRA on not being able to edit the footage in SPHRA Studio. So anyway, here we go. Let's see how this thing does. I have to make sure there's nobody on the sidewalks or anything when I'm doing the ride because of how far out I am, because I can easily smack somebody. So I got to make sure that I'm good. And right now it's clear. We're gonna make sure that everything's clear here. I had to do a little dodging there because this rod's out there and it's not fully extended, but it's good enough for what I'm doing. And let's get this turned a little bit so I can see what's going on. Okay, we'll get down here and we'll finish this up. Now the test is to see if the footage is still jerky, really bad jerky, when I'm in Extra Studio. They have responded with me, and they turned it up to, well, they say elevated it to their technical support team. Let's stop right here for a second, do some adjustments, because that went down a little bit. I don't want it to go down, I want it to go up. Yeah, it went the wrong way. Oh, that's why it wasn't tight, duh. Now it should be right. There we go. Now, let me show you the rig that I've got set up. Hi guys, again, we are testing this out to see how it does in strictly editing in the SPHRA or Extra Studio, which is their desktop publishing. So that's what this is today. And we're going to get up here and finish this up and put this rig away. Okay, that's it. We are on the last day of the review of the SPHRA 360 camera. And today is the last day. I know this video is long, it's 2 parts, but each one is over 30 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, I wanted to get this information out so you guys can make whatever decision you make as far as this camera goes. Now, as time goes on, I'm finding out more and more things, and most of it's in the post-production thing. But anyway, what we're going to do today is the testing of them being on the bike, and along with the SPHRA 360, I have brought along the Insta360 X4. It's hooked up. You can see them almost the same height. It's pretty close. I think I got to take this thing off here, or I'm not going to film anything. That's pretty dumb. Bruh. And this camera here is the DJI Nano, and we'll be using that today as the support camera, showing you what's going on with these two up here. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this one started. Then, when this is all done today, I'll give you my thoughts and my perspective on this camera and let you know what I think. So, hey, we'll be back in a bit. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to do a comparison now of the two 360 cameras. And again, I've got the DJI Nano up on my helmet, filming everything. So here we go. Now, we won't need a lot of this morning, but I just want to make sure the rock steady is rock steady. And compared to the Insta360 X4, I know its stability or stabilization program is really good. And they have, I think it's called Flowmaster or something like that. And I want to make sure that rock steady doesn't make this thing pop all over the place. Now you can see how I have these set up, and this is how I do it on my bike. Once in a while I've got a special mount that goes out 8 feet from the back of the bike. But now that I have the drones, I don't use that as much. However, if I'm in a state park or a national park, then I do. So anyway, we went through that section right there. Now I'm going to hit the fancy voice stuff and see if everything works. Stop recording. Hi guys, we have got the protective lens covers on the SPHRA, and I'm going to be riding straight into the sun, and this was by plan, and I wanted to see what kind of glare we get off these protective lenses. I'm really not sure. I know with the Insta360 the glare is horrible, and I don't use those protective lenses because of the glare. So we're going to check this little bit of footage here as we get ready to wrap this thing up. Well, you know, the form and factor of this camera is pretty cool, but its post-production is its biggest weakness, and I mean huge weakness. I tried doing some phone editing, and it is so cumbersome that I just gave up.
Total distance 6.0 miles. Average speed.
So anyway, we're going to check these out and see how they do, and see if glare. I'm in direct sunlight too.
Miles per hour.
And this will be a good test for these. Now these lens protection things are not as high or domey as the ones the Insta360 has. The Insta360 actually offers two, and one is real high in the dome and the other one is kind of like regular, but these are really close to the lens. On your left. You're good, you're good. So anyway, we're going to do this final clip here, and this will be the end of all the footages, and I want to see if I'm getting any wobble, because that rock steady is critical for this camera, and so far it's performed pretty well, but I haven't had it into this type of action since the beginning of the review. This is the first time I've had it in the extreme activity, And this is going to tell me when I get into post if this is going to work out or not. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we will see you guys at the wrap up. So see you then. Well guys, hey, this is Mr. D, and we are at Starbucks right now, and we're gonna talk about this camera and give you some of my perspective. Not all of it, but I'm gonna give you some of it because I got a big cup of coffee to drink. So here's my thing. The camera itself, quality-wise, it's good. It's not excellent, but it's good. Now it does have they say 2 1-inch sensors in there, and they're square versus rectangular, so there's no cropping. What you see is what you get, and it's using all of the sensor. The other thing is that it's easy to use, really no problem. Voice command works great, all that kind of stuff, but the same problem as DJI has, and that's, again, goes back to part 1 of my video where I talk about the backstory. I think it's the identical software to the DJI software, just rebranded, because it does the exact same thing. Now let me give you a little how do you do on what's going on there. When you produce your clips and you edit it in your phone, it's no problem at all. I mean, zero. But it takes up battery life in your phone, all that kind of stuff. I like to do all my post production stuff on my iMac, which is definitely set up for this particular thing. Now I used to have, or I started having, a 360 Avanta from DJI. That's a drone. I flew it 3 flights the same day as I was doing a review, and I noticed that all the footage did this, all of it. And that's when I pulled it into the DJI studio. Lo and behold, it does the exact same thing in the SPHRA studio. Identical problem. It also says that you can just plug your USB-C into your computer, and then plug your computer into the camera, power it on, and it's supposed to bring the files in. That doesn't happen either. You got to bring them in, you have to create a project. But that's disheartening, because the Insta360 Studio, I don't have any of that problem. I mean, zero. The editing is smooth. That's on desktop. So I wrote a message to SPHRA, as I did the same thing with the Avanta 360 drone to DJI, and asked them about this software. Now I haven't heard back from SPHRA yet, but it's on the verge of me returning this camera because of post-production issues. So I'm waiting for their answer. And if I don't get a good answer, then I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm going to return the camera and keep the Insta360 cameras and my GoPro camera. Now the GoPro Max 2 camera also has the same kind of issue. Their desktop publishing for, or desktop editing for 360 is the GoPro Quick. But they also steer you to your phone. So you have to do all your editing in your phone. I don't want to do my editing in my phone. I want to do it on my desktop, like I do everything else. And depending if I get an answer back or not from SPHRA, will tell me if I keep this camera or return it. Check. I can't have jerky clips when I'm getting ready to do post-production, because it makes them unusable. Well, good morning to Judgment Day, guys. Today is Judgment Day for my SPHRA 360 camera. Now, I did hear back, and this is really impressive. I did hear back from SPHRA customer support, and they actually really did send it up to their engineering personnel to try to work it out. Now, what they're trying to do is rule out any problems on my computer. Now, I know better than that because my Insta360 camera does extremely well with footage. I don't have and never have experienced any jerky footage using that software. So here's what we're going to do. They asked me to do 7 things, 2 of which I've already done a couple times. So let me open this up. I want you guys to hear this. All right, they want me to close Studio completely and then restart your Mac. Well, I do that every time I do it because everything's shut down. Confirm you're using the latest version of SPHRA Studio. So I'll do that today. Once I go back, I'll check on their website and make sure that it is the latest version. Now, this is where it's weird. They're saying to copy all the video files from the internal storage to the SD card into the camera that I put in there. So I'll do that. And then to max internal SSD before importing them to Extra Studio. Editing directly from the SD card may affect playback performance. Okay, I'm gonna give that a go because when I did it with the DJI 360 drone, the Banter, I guess they called it, I pulled it from the internal storage also, and DJI software, which is identical to this software, did the exact same thing with the jerky photos. All right, it says close on unnecessary applications running in the background. I always do that anyway. It's standard practice, guys. The next thing is, now this one I don't understand. If available, lower the playback preview quality within Extra Studio. I don't understand what that means. They're asking me if available. They should know if it's available or not because it's their program, not mine. So anyway, I'll look, see if there's anything, but I've looked at the menu before and there is nothing. And I think I know what they're doing. They're thinking that this thing's shooting at 8K or stuff like that, but when I export the files, I always export them at 4K. So that shouldn't be an issue. Now it says, if your footage is stored on an external drive, try copying it to the internal drive and test it again. In other words, I have all my stuff going to a 6 terabyte drive. So what I'll do is import it into the SSD on the computer and see if that's an issue. Never heard of that before, but I'll do it. And then lastly, if possible, test another short recording from the camera to see if the behavior is consistent. Okay. The behavior on all 360 footage, all of it on, if it's in 360, not if it's in standard video or single lens video or anything like that. The single lens video is perfectly straight, no problems at all. It has to do with their 360 footage. That's where the problem lies. So anyway, today is Judgment Day. I'm gonna go through all this stuff for them and go back to them, and I'm really impressed that they're trying to really address the problem, not like DJI, who went crickets on me and never answered me. So anyway, we're gonna try all these. Hopefully one of these will work. I mean, if it's a short workaround where I transfer files from the internal storage to the external storage, I could live with that. But if it doesn't, unfortunately, guys, the camera's going back. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's very, very long, and I apologize for that. But I wanted to give you as much information as I could. Now again, I'm waiting on the extra Muse 2 Pro camera to be released. And that's what prompted me to buy the 360 camera. And it's nothing more than a DJI Osmo 360. That's what this camera is with different branding. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you on the next one.